I hereby send the third anniversary greetings to my fellow members of the university community, stakeholders, friends and well-wishers of this highly esteemed and optimally rated university that is gradually becoming the primus inter pares in the Committee of Universities in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, it's precisely 1,095 days ago that Professor Florence Banku Obi assumed office as the 11th and first female Vice Chancellor in the University of Calabar. This is the commemorative narrative of the third anniversary of her administration. Although, if we're to be honest about it, if you look at the tangible and intangible deliverables, I think that it will be difficult for anyone, speaking honestly, to believe that all these things were put in place within just 3 years, 3 short years. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, it's my big pleasure to welcome you to the Florence Banku Obi Academic Governance Template.
The University of Calabar, popularly called UNICAL, is one of the federal government-owned universities in Nigeria. Situated in Calabar, the Cross River State capital, the institution has made monumental contributions to the growth and development of the state, the nation, and humanity in general. Many helmsmen have been appointed over the decades to oversee the running of the institution. But on December 1, 2020, the first female Vice-Chancellor and the person of Professor Florence Banku Obi was appointed. 3 years down the line, it has been a remarkable catalogue of achievements and improvements in all spheres of the university administration. Professor Banku Obi and her lieutenants have been able to effect positive changes that have not only placed the institution of a new pedestal among universities in Nigeria, but have also made significant impact on the environmental, academic, and physical structure of the university. A highly elated Professor Banku Obi is a regular face in every aspect of the school as she supervises ongoing projects, remodels academic calendars, and issues instructions on the way policies and programs are to be pursued.
It hasn't been very easy, but it has been a very interesting and fulfilling journey. We've done a lot. Let me start with physical development. We have been able to change the hostels of our students as we came on board. We walked on the road. The road was so terrible, was so bad, and we also have been able to put up a lot of projects, a lot of infrastructure buildings, expanded the classrooms and furnished them and given staff and students a good working and studying environment. But in the last 1 year specifically, since we are marking my 3rd year, I want to concentrate on what I've done in the last 1 year. We've done a lot of physical projects. Let me start by saying that we had to complete and furnish the Faculty of Law, and that's our flagship project. They were living in a temporary apartment all these years. They have now moved to their permanent building, and that is done within the last 1 year. We did that. We have also been able to furnish and complete the twin lecture theater for engineering, just very close to Faculty of Law, and if you get there, you will marvel at the kind of work that was done there. We have also been able to re-innovate completely the very, very dilapidated, abandoned pavilions, D, E, and F lecture rooms. We have completely given them a new lease with a lot of facilities for students to sit in, to read and study, and making the place very conducive for everybody. We also have, within this period, we've been able to develop 2 hostels. One was to complete one abandoned hostel that was abandoned since 2016. Yes, about that. And then the second one was a new project that we started entirely from beginning to end, the new hostel. So we have added to the number of hostels we have in the university by the completion of the 2 hostels. So they are there. And then we also have introduced and completed the micro teaching lab. we have to go into micro teaching lab. Coming from the education background, I know that over the years, since the history of the University of Calabar, we in education, we have been teaching our students principally theory, and we had no laboratory where we do a lot of the practicals. So we now have where we can do simulation teaching with our students before we take them out for practical teaching and before we send them to the field. So we have a micro teaching lab that is there, completed. We're going to furnish it very soon, and we have also landscaped another twin lecture theater that is just opposite Faculty of Education, but beside African and Asian studies. And we had to work very hard to get the University of Calabar to be granted approval to run open and distant learning programs, and that we got during the last 1 year. And in order to make sure that we got that approval, we now have a stand-alone building for open and distant learning program, which is beautifully furnished, and the NUC have given us letter. We have already advertised, and we're expecting people across the world to key into our university. Those who cannot leave their homes to come and learn again, they can study in the comfort of their homes and earn University of Calabar degree. And then we have the mass communication building that was also abandoned since about 2016. We have completed it, we have furnished it, they have moved in there. For the first accreditation group panel has come, and I think they are impressed with what they have seen in the mass comm building.
Significantly, she has positively altered the academic landscape by ensuring that academic timetables are promptly and effectively adhered to. In this connection, the innovative management of examination and results has led to an unprecedented ease in the mobilization of graduates of the Institution for the National Youth Service Corps NYC scheme, which has been greatly enhanced by the no registration, no examination rule. In the past 1 year alone, no fewer than 5,000 prospective corps members were cleared to participate in the scheme from the institution. Similarly, for a university that in the past did not give its students the opportunity of knowing their status, fees were paid before they could realize that they were either no longer students or were being sanctioned for one reason or the other.
We have collaborated with so many institutions internationally, all over the globe, in Africa, in Europe, in Asia, and in America. Let's start with the US. We have lots of collaborations in the US, but one very active one currently is the collaboration with the Northeastern Illinois University in Chicago, where we signed an MOU I think about last year, for the exchange of students for co-research collaboration and project collaborations. And in terms of exchange of students, one of our students currently, that's Yudia Enobong Williams, is on an exchange program. Will be there for one academic session. She is from the Department of Genetics and Biotechnology. In January, another student from Guidance and Counseling in the Faculty of Education will be going to Northeastern University to spend one semester there. And that's what we've done so far with Northeastern Illinois University. We also have collaboration with another sister university of North Illinois University, and that is DePaul University. DePaul University have visited our institution about 2 or 3 times now, and they've been training students on climate change in what is known as the Global Learning Experience. They come here, they train the students, and our students also interact with their own students, having classes with them in Chicago, but online. Our students here in Calabar will have an online class with them over there in Chicago. And at the end of it all, they came here, they had a general meeting, and they presented certificates to the students, and they had a film show of what our students were able to present. Crossing over from Europe to Asia, we have a collaboration with Sichuan University of Science and Engineering. This program is an interesting one in which We are supposed to have joint degree program, and we're supposed to have our students exchange program also, students going over there to Sichuan in China to carry out research and to do part of their undergraduate and postgraduate program. But currently what is active there is a co-supervision of postgraduate students. We have some supervisors there assisting our own supervisor and supervising postgraduate students, especially those in the sciences. We have also published a lot of research work with them. That means we carry out projects, research projects, and work are published together.
In addition to her many successes, the ongoing rehabilitation and construction of buildings is a pleasant sight to behold. Majorly, the 2023 projects include, but not limited to, the following: the building and furnishing of the Faculty of Engineering twin lecture halls, completion and commissioning of Law Faculty building, the completion of Hall 11 hostel, abandoned since 2017, the building and furnishing of 60-room hostels for female students, Phase 2, the construction and furnishing of micro-teaching laboratory with modern digital equipment, the construction and furnishing of the pharmaceutical and medical chemistry building, the completion of the pharmacy administrative block, as well as the Faculty of Engineering administrative building. Others include the completion of the Media Arts Studio, Faculty of Education building, the rehabilitation of Pavilion D, E, and F, which have been fully completed and are in use. Other noteworthy projects are the landscaping and furnishing of the Twin Lecture Theatre by the African and Asian Study Block, the renovation and furnishing of the old ICT block, the Open and Distance Learning Center, the building and furnishing of the Mass Communication building, and the building of the Postgraduate Student Secretariat, among other key projects that have significantly changed the physical appearance of the institution. These are indeed very tangible projects which are visible to anyone working, studying, or coming into the institution. The accreditation of programs has also been given great boast, as 39 courses are due for accreditation by the National Universities Commission, NUC. It is envisaged that the state of preparedness over the accreditation issue will enhance the exercise. The success of the exercise will no doubt bring great relief to the university community and the students pursuing such courses.
We have done so much equally. Let me talk about academic excellence, for instance, because the university is principally about academic excellence. We have, throughout the 3 years, we've been working very hard to reposition the university in for academic excellence, which is our motto actually. Our examination practices, we supervise, monitor teaching and learning by our students. We make sure that our examination pass through due processes and is world class, and we have the quality assurance people equally monitoring what happens in during our examination. But more importantly, we customize our examination answer booklets for every semester. We don't repeat examination answer booklets every semester because we want our students to read and earn whatever grade they have. So students are working hard. The reading culture is returning because of the check and balances we've been able to put together. Our lecturers are also keying into a lot of things with policies we have been able to bring in. So you see lecturers teaching and immediately after examination, a month after examination, uploading their results. So our students can access their results anywhere, anytime, wherever they are, because their results are uploaded. Gone are the days where students graduate, claim they have graduated 2-3 years down the line, they don't know their status. Sometimes they were withdrawn and they never knew they were withdrawn. So we have put paid to that. But more importantly, we are also trying to internationalize and expose our students to international practices, best practices. So what we do now is that we have a lot of collaborations with universities within and outside the country. where we expose our students to. Sometimes we go into online courses for our students. A number of them, even lecturers, have keyed into some online courses that we partner with some foreign universities, and they are getting extra knowledge, extra degree, and extra certificates.
The establishment of a higher institution such as a university does not only entail learning and research, but also giving back to society what it can offer. Consequently, its students and lecturers have been playing significant roles in the society. Recently, an academic staff of the institution, Professor Christopher Nasiri, was appointed the auxiliary archbishop of the Catholic Diocese of Calabar, with the university hosting the episcopal ordination. Others are playing prominent roles in government, and the list goes on and on.
There is a lot of improvement, and this has stemmed from ensuring that the learning environment is right, and ensuring that the examinations are under control, and also that the results are out on time, and the students get to see their results on time. We've done a lot in getting all this through the years. We started by ensuring that students register for their courses. This is very important in the sense that it makes the students accountable and makes the lecturers also accountable. And it helps everybody to know who is on the list for a course. When we came in, it was very difficult to know who the students were for each course that was being taken. This was a big problem for us. And we knew that the only way out was to get the students properly registered on a sessional basis. And I want to say that we have been able to achieve that as at this year. At least 80 to 90% of our students are registered. I know that it had been a difficult one for the students. Some of them did not even know that they needed to register. For some of them, what they knew about registration was getting to their departments and paying departmental dues. But we know that that is nothing to write home about, because it still does not allow the students to know what he or she has comprehensively. So ensuring that the students register online has helped the students to appreciate what courses they are up for in a session, and help the department also to prepare for them. We can go on and on this, on the advantages, but the summary of it is that it helps us to have control of the examinations that we run at every semester.
The youths have not been left out in the scheme of things. In December 2021, the Youth Hub was set up with a view to nurturing students for global alumni impact under the auspices of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and it has successfully established partnership with UNICEF, AHF, and other development organizations across the world. This hub has helped in no small measure in recording over 200 peer educators and reached over 20,000 adolescents in Calabar alone.
It's been great, a wonderful experience. Having worked with a Vice Chancellor before, her predecessor, and I can say there's a confidently say there's a big difference between what I saw in the last and this. She has given us a free hand to do our work, but that doesn't mean you won't sit up anyway. What I mean by that is she allows us express, think outside the box. And she has done so much also herself, not just the physical planning unit. She has encouraged us so much in terms of accepting our ideas when we present them. And you can see the results. So many projects around, even the ones that have been abandoned before, are being completed. And it's something to take home. UNICAL used to be a university, have a reputation as the university with the highest number of abandoned projects. But over time, in the past 2 or 3 years, there's been a drastic change, positively. Don't forget, the VC came on board and inherited sanctions by TED Fund, which is a major funder of tertiary education, and it's not good for you to be in the bad books of TED Fund. So she's been able to erase that bad image, and now she's in the good books of TED Fund. Something to be cheerful about or cheer her for.
These achievements are not devoid of the seriousness attached to the welfare of staff and students alike. In fact, an institution of higher learning that desires growth and stability cannot toy with the welfare of its staff. Promotions have generally been regular in the institution for both academic and non-academic staff. Also worthy of mention is exposure of students to international scholarships, which were hitherto unheard of. The International Youth Day was also marked, which was under the auspices of international bodies such as the UNFPA, AHF, and UNICEF. A student of the Department of Philosophy made a university proud by setting a new world record in write-a-thon by writing for 188 hours non-stop, making him a great ambassador of the school. In the same vein, a group of 3 students led by their lecturer from the university a couple of months ago won laurels in faraway Azerbaijan, taking second position in space law debate.
The general effort has been towards repositioning the university to play its role and to realize its objective of being a knowledge center responsible for the development of manpower, and of course producing graduates that compete worldwide, that's globally. In the last 3 years, there have been efforts in different directions, but all geared towards improving academic welfare and the general well-being of both staff and students. And there's a connection between the physical projects that this administration has undertaken and also the policies that have been put in place to give feeling, to this desire to have a university of our dream. Principally on projects, we've had quite a number of them completed within the last 3 years. The problems we used to have, of lack of accommodation in terms of office space and in terms also of lecture rooms has actually reduced. The need is still there, the challenge is still there, but what has been put on ground, I am convinced that we're on a more sound footing than ever before moving the university forward.
The repair and installation of water facilities in the new hostels has brought real relief to the staff and students, and the same gesture is to be extended to the old hostels where water facilities have completely been out of use. The same scenario plays out with the light situation, which has considerably improved over time to the extent that there is constant power supply for 20 hours a day, as opposed to the dismal situation before her arrival on the scene. The purchase and installation of 269 three-phase meters has equally been of great upliftment to the lighting matter in the institution. It would be recalled that long before her emergence as the Vice-Chancellor, TED Fund sponsorship for staff had been stopped due largely to the noticed disparities in the sponsorship programs.
Now, university is principally set up to train students. For our students, we have always said, and I've always told my colleagues, if there are no students, there are no university. When the university's doors and gates are shut, that we know that there's no university. Like when we had strike for 8 months, nobody was doing anything. We take our students first as human beings, and we have made it a point of duty to treat them as human beings, to care for them, and we tell ourselves that we are the surrogate parents of our students. So for everything that concerns our students, concern us. As an administration, we are very much interested in the welfare of our students. We go all out to monitor what is happening to our students. Sometimes when they lay complaints, even when they affect our colleagues, call them extortion or call them abuses, harassment, we go all out, take our necks to make sure that we see that our students are comfortable. And also we do expose them, like I said earlier, to a lot of things. We have student youth friendly hub, and I'm sure we are one of the universities in the country that have such a functional student youth friendly hub. That hub, we partner with even international NGOs like UNICEF, United Nations, UNFPA, AHF. They are all supporting us, and each time they come here to support the work with our students, some of our students even have opportunities to serve as volunteers in some of these international agencies, and they are learning so much from these international agencies. We are perhaps one of the universities that will officially and formally celebrate youth and mark International Youth Day, just because we want to turn the Youth Day to turning our students' energy. We know they have a lot of energy. We turn their energy, instead of using them negatively, we want them to turn their energy to use them positively. So on such a day, we get them involved in a lot of competitions that will even help them in as they go forward. So we have actually done a lot in the last 1 year, and like I pledged to the world when I took over office, that I am on historic mission, and that historic mission I am working every day to see that we achieve that.
Nevertheless, notwithstanding the harsh economic realities currently ravaging the globe, which have adversely affected universities, the leadership of the school was determined to make the difference, and indeed it has. Within the period, the University of Calabar, under the able leadership of Professor Florence Banku, recorded some giant strides in the number and significance of the ceremonies it held. The 44th and 45th matriculation ceremonies, the investiture of the institution's 6th Chancellor, the 35th convocation ceremony, special doctoral convocation with 520 PhD graduates, the 53rd Physician's Oath-Taking Ceremony involving the first set of dental surgeons, inaugural lectures, and orientation ceremonies all took place in the past 1 year. All these important activities taking place in one institution within such a short time is certainly not a mean feat. In the light of the foregoing, a student of the Department of Political Science, Blessing Alims Iripia, described the situation at the university under Professor Florence Banku as interesting and awesome, devoid of harassment and intimidation. She applauded the establishment of the Student Hub Center, which has impacted so much on students, and anchored her praise on the digitalized platform for checking results.
Okay, for me, it has been interesting. Reason being, we have a very conducive environment to learn, the digitalized platform for students to check their results, and also we have the inauguration of the youth-friendly hub, University of Calabar. When you mean the standard of education, we look at the conducive learning environment. Is it welcoming? Is it friendly? Are students able to speak out boldly in terms of being harassed sexually by lecturers? And how do students assess their results after every examination? With the administration of Professor Florence Obi, it's been made very easy for students to get access to their result 2 weeks after examination, whereby lecturers are mandated to update students' results. So with this, it gives students the highlight to know their performance and also to sit up. My personal message to my VC is for her to keep doing the good work. I applaud her for the inauguration of the youth-friendly hub, which I'm an active member. That has given opportunity for more than 200 students to be trained as peer educators, and it has also given the opportunity for external funders like the UNFPA, UNICEF, AHF, USAID to train these students who are advocates and peer educators. And with this, most students are motivated to be integrated into the youth-friendly hub.
Commenting on the 3rd year anniversary of the Professor Obi-led administration, another student of the school, Enya Peter Ibula of the Department of Petroleum Engineering, applauded the online registration and checking of results, which has facilitated and streamlined various areas of examination. and release of results. He was elated with the completion of the structures around the school and the accreditation of the Department of Petroleum Engineering.
I must appreciate the Vice Chancellor on behalf of myself and my colleagues in Faculty of Engineering for at least making it possible for us to have accreditation. I want to tell you that that's a very big feat because we will not have to step down again. And also the learning environment, the campus is very safe. As you can see, students can go on with their academic activities without fear of intimidation. And also, I would like to appreciate the Vice Chancellor for this wonderful initiative of bringing up an online result checker. Students can now freely check their results at the comfort of their homes using their cell phones. I must commend her for that. And then she has made learning very, very easy for Nigerian students. And also I want to say that with what we are seeing so far, we are operating on the internationally best practices. I want to pray for God guidance and also wish her success in her remaining years in office. I know it hasn't been easy, but she has proven beyond every reasonable doubt that she has the capacity to rule and also guide the university in all aspects. So I must commend her, and I also want to tell her not to lose focus, because right now there will be a lot of distractions, knowing very well that she's doing excellently well. So let her keep the faith and continue doing her best for the growth of the university.
Umorin Utadafon Udo, a security personnel, noted that Professor Banku has brought real and tremendous changes to the security department, adding that in 3 years, the personnel have benefited from 2 trainings, which had not been the case before now. He also noted that the appointment of Captain Austin Bisson as Chief Security Officer has been a tremendous benefit to the university.
Professor Florence Obi has been a blessing to the security departments from her inception. In 3 years, we've had 2 trainings, of which in the past administration we couldn't have that. We've had 2 good trainings that have improved the skills and the ability of security personnel. And one of the best things she did was to bring in Captain Austin Bisson as the Chief Security Officer, which through him has restructured the security department in discipline. Staff are punctual to offices now, take over, hand over jobs accordingly without leaving the offices, and also control of senior and junior officers. In this past administration, there have been control of phone theft. Students are back into night classes without fear because those persons are all apprehended. Phones that are being stolen are returned back to the student. This past administration has been excellently well helping the security department. The welfare of the security personnel. From time to time, even in the past years that we had issues with the COVID-19 and all of that, she has always been supportive. Even when salaries were not paid, we were on strike for some months, she has been always there to support the security personnel financially. And in training, she has always been there to give trainings. About 2 trainings we've gone through in the past 3 years, which before now we can stay 4 or 5 years without having a training.
Associate Professor Rose Ohiama Ube, Dean, Faculty of Law, University of Calabar, described the Vice Chancellor as a strict and focused administrator with a no-nonsense approach to leadership. She reiterated that Professor B has changed the narrative by inculcating discipline, values, and by raising the standard in line with the global best practices, adding that they will continue to support her by projecting the law faculty to become #1 in all ramifications in Nigeria.
We thank God for the enablements, for choosing her to be the Vice Chancellor at this critical time that we need so much changes in our society in general and in Faculty of Law and University of Calabar in particular. We thank God for what God has made her to achieve in the University of Calabar and in particular the Faculty of Law. It is during her tenure that we are able to move to this faculty, which is a new Faculty of Law building. It's really a milestone. This is what we have been wishing, praying and hoping for. And this, like I said, is very critical as a milestone because it's one of the very requirements of for accreditation. And incidentally, as you speak, we are expecting the accreditation team for Faculty of Law today. And then the accreditation program will be tomorrow. So what she has done is what Napoleon Bonaparte could not do.
Dr. Ube also disclosed that the accreditation process of the law faculty will place them on a pedestal among other universities in the country. With the number of projects already executed, coupled with those in the pipeline, it can be said without any fear of contradiction that the first ever female Vice Chancellor of the University of Calabar has brought great relief to all areas of the university, and future analysis of her tenure will most definitely be positive. And as she noted, the desire to instill the right values, which is a cardinal aspect of university education, has been greatly enhanced during her tenure. The future beckons on her, and there are encouraging signs that she will continue to embrace more limelight in the days ahead.